In this video, I'll be showing you the new best beginner-friendly keyboard and mouse settings in Chapter 7. But before we get into the video, I'll be showing you some clips I hit using these settings. If you really want to improve while using these, I recommend playing my practice map, which includes many drills for improving aim and mechanics. Here's the map code. Now enjoy some of these clips and use code HeroClick in the item shop. Now, on to the settings. I play windowed full screen, but if you have a more powerful PC, play on full screen. My resolution is 1440p, and I have VSync turned off. Frame rate set to unlimited. Rendering mode, I use performance mode. But if you have an older PC or a less powerful one, use legacy performance mode. I use 150% brightness. User interface contrast turned on. Colorblind mode I have turned off. Colorblind strength set to 0. And user interface parallax turned off. I use 100% 3D resolution. Dynamic 3D resolution turned off. Make sure to set your view distance to epic so you can see weapons load in from further away when gliding. Textures set to low and meshes on high. Show FPS turned on, latency markers turned off, and NVIDIA Reflex low latency set to on, plus boost. This just lowers your input delay and makes the game run smoother. On to the sound settings. Sound settings are just personal preference, but here are mine if you want to copy them. Set your sound quality to high so you can hear footsteps from farther away. It's an extra 20 meters, so it's very helpful. 3D headphones turned off, and background audio set to notifications only. Go into subtitles and turn all of these off to lower your input delay. Visual sound effects. Turn this on. This is one of the most important settings to have on if you want better awareness when fighting. It allows you to see other players' footsteps on screen. Here are my voice chat settings. These are fully personal preference, so copy them if you want. If you don't use text chat, turn it off because it can distract you while fighting. Now the game settings. Toggle sprint and auto open doors set to on. Mantle activation and hurdle activation set to hold jump and press jump. Hold to swap pickup turned on. Toggle targeting. Make sure to turn this off since it makes aiming harder. Mark danger. When targeting switched on. Auto pickup weapons. Turn this off. This fills your inventory with random weapons after a fight and can be annoying. My preferred item slots are assault rifles, shotgun, SMG, consumable item, and unassigned. Auto sort consumables to the right is turned on. Reset building choice off and turbo building turned on. Make sure to have this on since it's one of the most important settings if you want fast builds and edits. Simple edit. I have turned off, but if you're a beginner and struggle with editing, it's not a bad idea to give it a try and see if you like it. Disable pre-edit options switched on. Auto-confirm edits set to both. NVIDIA highlights. Turn this off for lower input delay and more tap to search. Turn this on so you don't have to hold the interact button when opening chests. Both FOV settings set to max. Record replays. Turn all of these off for more FPS, but if you want to review your games, then I suggest you keep these turned on. Energy saving mode. Turn all of it off. Now the HUD settings. Both of the reticles turned on, show spread and show recoil switched on, pull reticle turned on. Damage numbers set to list, but if you want your numbers to add up, set it to cumulative. Reticle damage feedback set to hit, and icons. Damage number scale set to 125%. My HUD scale is set to 75%, but this might be a little bit too big, so set it to 60%. The rest you should have turned on, so copy these. Make sure to turn on net debug stats so you can see your ping in-game. Finally, turn off creative runtime performance. Here are my gyro settings. If you want, copy them. I doubt anyone plays with gyro, but if you do, here they are. Now on to the most important settings, the mouse sensitivity. I have invert mouse view turned off, invert aircraft mouse controls off, and invert fighter mouse controls switched off. My x-axis is set to 6.8%, and my y-axis is also set to 6.8%. This is a pretty slow sensitivity, which is great for aiming, but beginners could struggle with building and editing. If you want a faster sensitivity for better builds and edits, I suggest using 9.1% for both X and Y axis. My targeting sensitivity is set to 35.5%, and the scope sensitivity is also 35.5%. You'll never miss again with these settings. Building and editing sensitivity both set to 100%. First-person mode set to 100%. Zoom scaling is set to legacy for better recoil control. Ignore controller input off, and lock input method as mouse turned off. Make sure to turn on these double movement settings for better movement while fighting. I use 70 for forward diagonal angle, 90 for strafe angle, and 135 for backward diagonal angle. Touchpad sensitivity to maximum turned on, and sensitivity multiplier set to 100%. Here are my keyboard keybinds. I'll slowly scroll through every setting so you can copy them, and I'll stop and explain the important ones. Use to scroll wheel up so you can win more 50/50s off spawn. You can instantly pick up items from chests. Next, bind scroll wheel down to building edit and reset building edit so you get scroll wheel reset. This makes fighting much easier against good players and gives instant wall resets. Set switch. Quick bar to any random keybind on your keyboard for lower input delay. Finally, here are some beginner-friendly controller settings if you want to copy them.